Welcome to Align Christ-Centered Yoga. My name is Linda and I'll be guiding our practice today. And my question for you as we begin today is this: how do you show gratitude? The psalmist says this: let them thank the Lord for his steadfast love, for his wondrous works to the children of man. And let them offer sacrifices of thanksgiving and tell of his deeds in songs of joy. Offer sacrifices of thanksgiving. A friend of mine, Peg Arnold, is an amazing speaker, and she offers devotions from the deck on Instagram. And she did a word search, and she realized that Thanksgiving is something that we say. Gratitude is something that we do. So I invite you to think about the difference today, this sharing praises, telling God how thankful we are for all that he's done for us, showing him our gratitude by our obedience to him, the way that we love others. How do you show gratitude? Find a comfortable seated position, rocking a little bit side to side, front to back, finding your sitting bones, maybe elevating your hips up on a blanket or a block for a little more hip release. I invite you to close your eyes if you're comfortable with that. And begin to let the day fade away. Notice your breath. As you begin to breathe a little more slowly, a little more deeply, draw your attention to the mat, to this place that you have set aside for thanksgiving and gratitude. Taking care of the body that God has given you, restoring the nervous system, resetting and retraining the brain, all so that you can live fully this life of gratitude for all that God has given you. Take 2 more breaths here, noticing the way the breath moves through the body. Taking a deep breath in, draw arms up and overhead as the gaze comes up, and exhale, bowing the head as the head comes down, as the arms come down. Back and forth here, connecting breath and movement now. So can you begin to lead the movement with your breath? On the inhale, those arms rise, and on the exhale, they float down to the mat. Adding a gentle twist. Take a nice deep breath in as the arms rise and exhale into a twist to the right. Bring the arms forward, rise, and twist to the left. So back and forth here. What's going on in the back today? In particular, we'll focus on reaching and releasing the tight muscles of the upper back. One more time here. Taking a deep breath in, let the arms rise all the way up, palms together. Exhaling, bring hands to heart. Finding your breath again, noticing the way that it moves through the body. Noticing the way that the body feels. Coming back to this question, how do you show gratitude? One more breath here. Let the hands come down, meet me in table. You can go ahead and bring any props that you have towards the front of the mat. Fingers spread wide, bring your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath the hips. As you exhale, round into that cat. And as you inhale, tilt the hips down, draw the chest forward. As you move in and out of cat, notice what's going on in the shoulder blades. How easily do they move, or do they feel very stuck? Just noticing, no judgment. One more breath here. Meet me back at center, and I invite you to curl your toes under and bring your knees into your rib cage. Let your head drop. And begin to pedal through your feet. So moving your hips side to side, noticing what's going on in the feet, the ankles, the legs, maybe up and down the side of the body. Are you still gripping with those fingertips? Deep breath in, let the heels rise, and exhaling, let the heels come down to the mat. Stay here for another breath. Today we're going to start everything with our left leg, our sequences with our left leg. So go ahead and raise that left leg up to the sky. And drawing the gaze forward, bring the foot in between your hands and let your back knee tap down and up a few times. So begin to warm up through the psoas, through the front of the hip. As you're ready, let that knee come down. Go ahead and toe heel that front foot off the mat. So the heel's on the mat, but the foot's angled a little bit to the outside. Toes are off the mat. Just finding a wide stance here, a little bit of stretch in the inner thigh and the groin, maybe some more stretch in that psoas. And bringing this into the upper back, take this inside arm and sweep it towards the opposite corner of the mat. And drop this other arm towards the mat. Come up onto the fingertips of that top arm, let the wrist go high. Move the arm a little bit and find the stretch that's right for you in the upper back. And maybe you're looking underneath that arm. One more breath here. Taking a deep breath in, sweep that arm all the way back, come to center. Find your lizard pose. And toe heel that foot back to center. Go ahead and raise that back leg. Bring the front foot to the back. Meet me in plank. And from plank, come down to the mat. I invite you to find low cobra today. Fingertips wide, a little bit behind the shoulders. Let those elbows rise to the sky. As you drop the shoulders a little bit forward, the chest rises off the mat. Lift the body up. And then rotate those shoulder blades and bring the chest up and through low cobra. Exhaling, come down to the mat. Hands to the rib cage. Come back through table and curling the toes under. Find downward facing dog. Check in for a breath, noticing the way the body has responded. On that next inhale, the right leg rises high. And gaze forward, bring the foot all the way through. Let that back knee tap down and up. If you have blocks and if your arms are short, maybe it's more comfortable for you to be up on blocks. If you have wrist issues, maybe it's more comfortable for you to be on your fists. Make the practice work for you. As you're ready, let that back knee come down, top of the foot to the mat. Again, bring the hands to center and toe heel that front foot wide. Again, just find your stretch. Again, looking for a back stretch as well. Sweep that inside arm towards the opposite corner of the mat. Begin to drop into the other forearm. Raise the wrist of that front arm. And adjust the arm a little bit until you find the stretch is right for you. Maybe it's very different than it was on the other side. What do you notice? One more breath here. Get you ready, release. Go ahead and bring your hands back to center. Toe heel that front foot to the inside, raise the back leg. This time, bring the back leg forward, push off that back foot as you come forward. Find your forward fold, feet hip width apart. Hold on to the elbows, forearms stacked. So first forward fold. What's comfortable for you here? Where are you a little tight today? Is it the back? Is it the hamstrings? Begin to activate the muscles of the legs, and maybe that means straightening out the legs a little bit more. And begin to lengthen through the spine. One more breath here. On that next inhale, hands come up halfway. Exhaling, come down. Go ahead and come all the way up. Palms together. Exhale, hands to heart. Finding your mountain pose. Stay here for a breath. Deep breath in, arms rise. Exhaling, go ahead and bring those hands behind you. So I invite you again to kind of rotate those shoulder blades back, really working today on that mobility in the upper back. And take those palms behind you and let those elbows go wide. And maybe there's a back bend here. Deep breath in, let the arms rise, palms together. Exhaling, keep those hands together, coming forward, forward fold. And hands to shins, rise up halfway, press down to the mat, meet me in plank. And from plank, come down to the mat. Find your back bend. And come through table, meeting me in downward facing dog. So we're going to move towards fallen triangle here. Starting with that left leg, let the left leg rise with your inhale. Come into a plank, let the shoulders come up a little bit, come over. Bring the knee to the inside of that opposite arm. Release, come into three-leg dog. And again, come into your plank. Bring that knee across. This time extend the leg. Move that inside hand a little bit forward. Left arm underneath left shoulder. Raise that right arm to the sky. Open up, lift those hips. And then slowly sink the hips towards the mat. Legs out wide. Gently come forward into dragonfly. Bend the knees a little if you need to. Find your stretch. And I invite you to bring that left arm over the right and bring the arms to the outside of the knees. Flex the feet, bring those arms across the legs, and draw the elbows towards center as you find a stretch in the upper back. Can you extend the neck and lengthen it? So rather than letting the head come down towards the mat, reach the head forward. Top arm rises up, find a twist. Exhale, bringing that hand underneath the other one. Come all the way up. Wrap under. Again, finding this stretch. And then release, bringing the arms forward again. And gently come up. Bring that left foot to the inside of that right leg. Find a hamstring stretch as you come over that extended leg. And then staying here, bring the outside arm to the inside. Bring that top arm over to the outside of the leg, finding a gentle twist. Dropping the ear towards that leg. And again, move this top shoulder a little. Find the stretches right for you. Taking a deep breath in, sweep the arm all the way up. I invite you to take the extended leg behind you, find a pinwheel, and bring the body over this front knee, finding a hip stretch. What are you thankful for today? As you're ready to release, press into your hands. You're going to bring this leg underneath you. Meet me in table. Curl the toes under, rib cage towards the hips, or I'm sorry, knees towards ribs, hips rise, downward facing dog. Find breath. Taking a deep breath in. Raise that left leg, same leg, all the way up. Draw the gaze forward, bring the foot in between the hands, press into that right hand, sweep that left arm up. Exhaling, go ahead and bring that hand behind you, stacking shoulders, maybe coming into a bind. Again, noticing how does the shoulder blade work here? Can you create space between shoulder and ear? Reach as that arm comes overhead. Circle back to the hips. Bring that front foot to the back. Meet me in a side plank. That front arm might be a little bit in front of that shoulder. Lift those hips. Engage the abdominals. And unwind. I invite you to come to the mat. Find your back bend. Create your flow with your breath. And meet me in downward facing dog. Same thing, using the right leg. Deep breath in, right leg rises high. Drawing the gaze forward, come into plank. Bring that knee to the opposite elbow. There's a twist there. Come back into three-leg dog. This time, follow through into fallen triangle. So go ahead and bring that leg all the way out. Maybe that outside arm comes up a little bit further on the mat. Top arm rises, extend the legs, and then gently drop into the mat. Legs wide. Come forward into dragonfly. Find your breath. Go ahead and cross your arms, right arm on top this time. Bring that right arm up as the body twists underneath the left arm as the body twists to the other side. Left arm comes under, draw the elbows towards each other and find your stretch. How can you use that exhale to create release? Go ahead and bring the hands forward into dragonfly. And this time, you're going to come to that left leg and find your stretch. Is that right? Yes. Yes, that's right. So take the outside arm to the inside. Bring that right arm across as you're looking under. Find your stretch. Again, adjust the shoulder. And then release. Find your pinwheel, right leg forward. Draw the body over the leg. Find your breath. Maybe you find a little more length in the spine. Maybe you find a little more depth in the stretch as you exhale heavy. As you're ready, release. You're going to bring this knee under you. Find your table. Curl the toes under. Meet me in downward dog. And the next inhale, the right leg, same leg that you used before, rises up. Gaze comes forward, foot comes in between the hands. Press into that left hand as you sweep that right arm out to the side. Bring that right arm up to the sky. Find your twist. Maybe you come into the bind. Again, what's going on with those shoulder blades? Maybe you can go a little deeper into your lunge. And then sweep that arm all the way out and around and stretch. Reach for that wall in front of you and then bring the arm all the way around to the hips and down. Bring that front foot to the back and meet me inside plank. And find your breath here. Maybe the hips can rise a little bit more. Exhale and unwind and find your flow. Come down to the mat. Find your back bend. Ribs come under. Tilt the hips. Meet me in downward facing dog. So we're going to run through that whole flow again a little more quickly this time. Check in. How does the body feel right now? How can you create a little more strength in the pose? One more breath here. We're also going to add a little directional shift this time, starting with the left leg. Left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward as the foot comes all the way through. That's not what I meant. Sorry, three-leg dog. Oops. Come into that plank as the knee comes forward. Find your twist as the knee comes to the inside of that other arm. Three-leg dog, leg rises. Here we go. Bring that knee in, contract the abdominals, extend that leg to the side, kickstand it out, fallen triangle. Exhale, release. Come forward into your dragonfly. Cross your left arm over your right and find a twist across the arms. Left arm rises, comes underneath. Right arm rises, comes underneath. Stay in the twist and the forward fold for a breath. The way forward fold, the arms are crossed. There's no twist. Bring the arms forward and rise. Bring the left foot in, create some traction with that leg. Reach over that right leg and find your stretch. As you're ready, release. Come into a pinwheel. Stay here as the body comes over the leg. One more breath here. So this time you're going to move the body towards that front foot. Come into table here. Meet me in downward dog facing the back edge of the mat. Still working with that left leg rises high. Gaze comes forward, foot comes in between the hands. Press into the right hand as you sweep up. And find your twist here. Maybe you come into the bind. And just noticing what's your shoulder mobility. Bring the arm all the way over and reach and stretch. And press that back heel behind you. And then sweep that arm all the way around. Bring that left arm a little bit forward to the shoulder. Foot comes back. Meet me inside plank. Exhaling, release, come down to the mat. Find your back bend. And breathe your way through table into downward facing dog. Stay here, find your breath. Notice what you notice right side compared to left. What were the effects of that sequence? Same sequence on the other side. Right leg rises high. Gaze, stay right here. Gaze stays where it is. Come into the plank. Knee comes towards the nose. Find your twist as the knee comes to the inside of the elbow. Bring it back. Find three-leg dog. Working towards fallen triangle. Knee comes in, comes to the elbow. Kickstand out. Maybe that inside arm comes a little forward. Find fallen triangle here. As you're ready, exhale and release. Come forward into dragonfly. Lengthen through the spine. And then cross the arms. Right arm over left. Taking a deep breath in, find your twist. Arm rises. Exhale, release, other side. Bring that arm under. Stay here, draw those elbows towards the center as the head leans forward. The head draws forward, the spine extends, opening up across the upper back. And then release, bring those arms forward again. And rise up. Bring that right leg to the inside, stretch over that left leg. Stay here as that arm comes under and the top arm comes over that leg. Finding a gentle twist here. Again, adjust the shoulder, find it. And then sweep that arm up, find your pinwheel. And find your stretch, stretching into that hip. Taking a deep breath in, press into your hands, rise up. Meet me in table. Facing front edge of your mat, curl the toes under. Meet me in downward dog. And that right leg rises to the sky. Gaze forward, foot comes all the way through. Press into the left hand as that arm rises up. Bring the hand behind into the bind if that works for you. Maybe that front knee comes a little closer to the ankle. That back heel presses towards the wall. Bring the arm all the way around, release. Bring that right arm a little bit further forward. Whoops. Left arm a little further forward as that right arm comes back and you find your side plank. So again, just lifting up from underneath the hips here. Use the internal obliques, the muscles at the waist, to lift you high. Exhaling, release. Meet me in plank. From plank, come down to the mat. Find your back bend. And this time, hands to rib cage, come through table to child, child to table twice. Once you're ready, meet me in table. And I invite you to press into the right arm, bring that left arm all the way up to the sky, and thread that left arm underneath. And maybe you use a block to help you and find a prop here. Maybe those legs come a little wider. Can you bring the temple and the shoulder down to the mat and find a stretch here? One more breath here. As you're ready, unwind. Let that arm rise up. Come back to child. Take a breath. And then let that opposite arm reach out to the side and rise and thread underneath. Just reach that shoulder and head towards the mat. Maybe you support with a pillow or a blanket or a block. Find your breath. What do you notice? As you're ready, unwind, reach that arm up to the sky again, and then just bring it back into child. Stay in child for 2 more breaths. As you're ready, press into your hands and rise up. Bring the feet forward, knees wide. I invite you to just drop your knees side to side. Then as you're ready, come down onto your back. Bring the arms out to the side. I invite you to take the right arm underneath the left and meet me in eagle arms. So those elbows are crossed, the wrists are crossed. Let the elbows come up towards the ceiling, the forearms away from your face. Feet hip width apart, a little weight in the feet, tucking the chin just slightly. Can you give me 5 crunches here? Maybe the shoulder blades come off the mat. Can you lead from the center? So start by drawing that belly button in, and then the rib cage comes up and towards the hips. And maybe there's a stretch across the upper back here as well. And as you're ready, release and let those arms come wide and just turn your head side to side. Other side, left arm under right. So again, elbows are going to come up a little, forearms away from the face. Deep breath in, tucking the chin. 5 crunches. And maybe you find it's a little harder on one side than the other. And as you're ready, unwind. And again, just turn the head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, bring those hands down. Just notice, how do the arms feel? How do the shoulders feel? How does the upper back feel? Go ahead and draw the knees in, giving yourself a hug and rock side to side. As you're ready, feet still up, knees together. Go ahead and circle the knees in the ceiling. Just massage any remaining tension out of that lower back. Maybe switch the direction of the circle, go the other way. As you're ready, draw the knees into the rib cage and away, back and forth here. Extend your legs long, finding Shavasana. Go ahead and windshield wiper your feet and bounce your knees and wiggle your hips a little bit. You can reach your hands all the way up to the ceiling and let the shoulders thump down. And maybe a couple more times here. Again, what is the shoulder mobility here? Hands come down, palms up. And gently turn your head side to side from the top of one ear up and over to the top of the other. And as you settle into Shavasana tonight, I'm going to read to you from Jesus Calling. So this is written as if from God to you. The author is Sarah Young. Rest. Rest in the deep assurance of my unfailing love. Let your body, mind, and spirit relax in my presence. Release into my care anything that is troubling you so that you can focus your full attention on me. Be awed by the vast dimensions of my love for you, wider, longer, higher, and deeper than anything you know. Rejoice that this marvelous love is yours forever. The best response to this glorious gift is a life steeped in thankfulness. Every time you thank me, you acknowledge that I am your Lord and provider. This is the proper stance for a child of God, receiving with thanksgiving. Bring me the sacrifice of gratitude and watch to see how much I bless you. I invite you to stay here a little longer if you can. If you need to move on with your day, begin to wiggle fingers and toes. Turn your head side to side. Taking a deep breath in, bring arms up and overhead, reaching fingers to one wall and toes to the other, and stretch them on. As you're ready, bend your knees and roll over onto your side. And find your breath here. Pressing into your hands, rise up to a sitting position, bringing one leg in front of the other, sitting comfortably, finding your sitting bones. Check in one final time, body, mind, and soul. What has changed since you came to the mat today? Noticing also what has stayed the same. Deep breath in, arms rise up and overhead, palms together, and exhaling, bring hands to heart, joining me in prayer. Jesus, we are thankful for so much. We are thankful that you came to earth to show us how to live a life that is fully alive. We thank you for going to the cross so that we could be united with you in eternity, so that we could have the gift of the Holy Spirit, a living God, guiding us, comforting us, leading us. We are so thankful for the little things in our life, for the big things in our life. Help us to show you with a life of gratitude, worshiping you and loving others well, sharing your story so that they may know the love that you have for them. It is in the name of Jesus the Christ that we pray. Amen. Thank you for practicing with me today.